Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Switch Show. I'm Maliseh Chinonye, podcaster in chief of the Switch Show, and it's good to have you here. How are you doing? How was your week? How is your weekend? Or are you listening to this at the start of a new week? How is the week going? Or how do you intend to take on this week? Regardless of what you have faced, regardless of what you've come through and everything, the most important thing is that you're alive and you get to forge ahead. You get to take new strides and take greater strides in whatever it is you're doing, and most importantly in your relationship with your creator. So yeah, with that out of the way, how's it going? Is this your first time listening? You should definitely pause, follow, then after you're done listening, leave us a review. Okay, now that's out of the way, you've probably seen by the topic and you're wondering, you're like, oh, okay, here we go again. But yeah, it's a particularly interesting topic to me and to almost everyone out there right now, because I've said this a couple times and you've probably heard it a million times over by now, but we are in such beautiful times, and I say the word beautiful very lightly. We are in such beautiful times, and it's quite easy to get lost to get carried away, to get lost in the flow of things, to lose sight of what is important, to lose sight of what is crucial and necessary for life. But nevertheless, that is why you have the Switch Show, right? We are hell-bent on, or we are heaven-bent. Anyway, we are intent on, doing stuff that illuminates. Anyway, Sugarcoated. Now, if you're anything like me, the first time you came across the word sugar-coated, it was probably when your mom was talking about the word. For me, the first time I heard the word sugar-coated was when my mom was talking about how boys sell lies to girls, and she, they were talking about back in the day how boys would sweet talk girls into doing outrageous things. Hold on a bit. Yeah, sorry, I had to quickly do something. Okay, they say how boys would sweet talk girls into doing outrageous things, and then when I was a kid, I would be like, so does it mean that they put, you'd actually think these things? Does it mean that they actually put sugar on their tongue while they are talking? What makes the word sweet? What makes it the ear tingle? So yeah, with age, anyway, you kind of grow up and you discover that it is not as obvious as they make it seem when they are talking about it. You're like, oh, and this boy just cornered this girl. He just told her some things, and he said to her, "You're the stars in my night sky. You're," I don't know, all those very corny and cheesy pickup lines they had back in the day that would not sweep anybody off their feet now, except maybe you're married and your spouse tells you that, then it's probably sweep you off your feet. But if you're not married, don't try that. It's not right. I don't recommend it anyway. But anyway, why did I say all of that? I said all of that to say that it's not as obvious as they make it out to be. Oh, the boy just talked to the girl. Or sometimes, I don't know if you're like me and they told you how anybody that walked up to them, they were so direct. Maybe you grew up in a house like that where my mom or my dad would always tell me, be blunt, be direct, and it's not, like I said, it's not as obvious and as easy as they make it out to be, but it can be with practice. Anyway, you can learn it, to put people in their place so that you don't get misplaced. Yeah. So Sugar-coated. It is the past tense of the word sugarcoat. So what does sugarcoat mean? It means to talk about or describe something in a way that makes it seem more pleasant or acceptable than it is. In other words, to make superficially attractive or palatable. Now, this is actually very definitions have this. The reason I like giving definitions is that it has this context, it has this, well, I say aura. I don't say energy because that word energy has been littered about in unfortunate places, but it has this energy about it. It has this presence, in quotes, about it that gives you an in-depth view on what the word might mean or what the word means actually. So when the latter part of that definition says, in other words, to make superficially attractive or palatable. For example, I don't know if you guys consume YouTube like myself. I watch food videos. Food videos in fact, sometimes I feel like they should be banned from YouTube, because many times we find ourselves watching food videos is usually when we are hungry, and that's the case with me. So you watch these videos and you see these guys, make high class Michelin star meals, and they have this gold stuff, this gold encrusted, they have like gold encrusted steak, gold encrusted meals. You hear things like is it the emperor caviar or something, really expensive things, yeah. And because of the gold, the garnish, it looks so beautiful, so dazzling. I'm going to talk about luxury some other time. I'm going to talk about luxury and how luxury is good, but many times it's fleeting, and when it becomes the bane of our existence, we lose sight of what is important. But anyway, so imagine if they took, I'm going to say, if you're listening while you're eating, I'm sorry, but imagine if they took something very disgusting, probably like poop, and they laced it with gold, and they put the whole gold leaf on it, and you can smell. Your sense of smell is not numb. You can perceive that this thing is the release of the intestinal functions, and then you decide, oh, okay, it's gold plated, I might as well give it a try. I mean, okay. That's on you. So that kind of is what sugar coated is. It's like you bring something that is clear and obvious, and you just wear it a different form. You can call it a facade, you can call it wolf in sheep's clothing, you can call it snake in the grass, you can call it whatever. I was thinking of another analogy, but it didn't quite gel. But you can call it a lot of things. There are multiple words to describe illusions like that, but essentially what makes something as good as that is the subtlety that goes with it. So I said I'm talking about sugar coating, and if you're, I don't know what I'm mincing my words, but the truth of the matter is that there is so much lie that it is hard to discern what the truth is. I don't know why I keep on using the TH sound, but there's so much lie, there's so much lies all around that it's so hard to discern what the truth is. So thank goodness for the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. I was trying to give a potent and powerful definition to the truth, but it's right here in the dictionary, and it means a transcendent, fundamental, or spiritual reality. Now break it down. What does it mean? You probably know what it means. Transcendent means otherworldly, something that's supernatural, something that is not bound by natural causes or natural phenomenon or natural elements. So essentially, a truth is a supernatural reality, and he even puts spiritual there. So it is a supernatural reality. So if something is not natural, it is supernatural. That means whatever must be the truth is not controlled by us. Does that make any sense? It's not controlled by us, yeah? So when we say, oh, this is my truth, this is what I'm going to come to that in a second. But when we say this is my truth, when we say this is my truth, I've said that like 3 times. When we make that statement, we are inadvertently claiming that we have come in contact with a transcendent reality. So if you've not come in contact with a transcendent reality, it's absolutely insane to consider that you have your truth. Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. It's actually insane to say that you have your own truth. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by a lot of things. I'm trying not to have any distractions because I really like doing one takes with my recordings. Anyway, yeah, so when we say we are living out my truth, like I said, it means you've come in contact with something that is otherworldly. But this is something that I want to bring to our notice, and it is a profound statement made by a profound and powerful man. I can call him a powerful man, yes. And that man was Paul, or Saul of Tarsus. He was a tent maker come apostle, writer of about 70 to 80% of the New Testament of the Holy Bible of Christianity. And dare I say, this man holds nuggets, holds insights, and holds quote unquote perspectives that have shaped the fundamentals and have shaped the pillars of society today, even though people might not want to admit it. So I would read from his letter to the church in Corinth, and it is his second letter to the Corinthian church, chapter 11 and verse 4. Sorry, I said verse 4. Chapter 11 from verse 12 to 15. He said, "But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory they may be found even as we." That's that's King James version, but this is what I'm headed to. 13, it says, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ." 14, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light." 15, "Therefore it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works." So a couple of things to take away from this. It says these people will fall subject to their works. Essentially, they pose as Christians, like I said, wolf in sheep's clothing, snake in a grass, a facade, an illusion. And I penned down in my note, I said it's like a magic trick. Your gaze is on what's happening, that you fail to see what is important. Now, every magician, I'm not a magician, I've never done a magic trick in my life. I've never done a magic trick. I probably have done something with what cards, or the standard deck of cards that my friend just taught me, and I did it, and it was so amazing and all. But one thing I understand from magic tricks like the sleight of hand is that they fool you with their talk, with theatrics, with a choreography, and they do all these things like huzzah, and you're so captivated by hand movements, by the contortion of their fingers and wrists, and how beautifully the cards are gliding, that there is something happening behind the scenes. Not really behind the scenes, but like out of your perspective or perception, or out of your line of vision. So you're focusing on their hand, Whereas one other, even if they're using both hands, something is still happening. And well, you can have your arguments and about it, sure, but this is what I'm telling you, and this is something I know that magicians do. Anyway, so you leave what is important, which is you have to trace your card to know how they swapped your card and how your card ended up inside your hand, where you saw that they just snapped their finger and the cards change. How did it happen? Sometimes I believe it's witchcraft anyway, but other times it's just, perception. They tweak your perception, so your gaze is on what's happening and you leave what is important. Yeah. So in a multitude of sanity, there is innumerable delusion. So while we think everybody is sane, and like my teachers would tell me, they're very, very annoying teachers, but they shaped the course of my life anyway. If I hadn't gone to school, I probably wouldn't be as intelligible as I am. But they were very annoying, and they would always flog us, and after whipping our butts with canes, they would say common sense is not always common. And it was a very funny statement, but it's actually true. Everybody seems to know what they're doing. Every human is wired with some form of ability to reason logically. There is an ability to reason logically, analytically, and sorry for the sounds you're hearing, but there's an ability for you to reason logically, like I've said. At the same time, there are people that are, as the kids say these days, delulu. That's such a weird word. I don't know why I said it. But there are people that are delusional. There are people that are out of their minds. And this isn't a mental health thing. I'm not trying to shoot at any mental health condition. But when you talk about delusion, there are people that are actually invested in things that make no sense. So what is it about the truth versus my truth? What is this the truth versus my truth conundrum? Why is there so much fuss about it? For starters, I would say that people like to glory in their achievements. People like to feel noteworthy. People like to feel humans were wired with pride, and not like some egotistical, some egomaniac type of thing or narcissistic thing, even though narcissistic tendencies well up over time. But humans were wired with some form of pride in achievements, pride in their offspring, pride in their friends, pride in their belief, pride in, taking pride in what you do is being happy, being excited for your achievements and all. But over time, that thing kind of wells up because of there is free will. You can now do as you please. You are now as gods, like the serpent told Eve in the garden. You are now as gods, so you can make and unmake your own laws. You just kind of make it up as you go. With the alphabet community, it's kind of how it is. They make it up as they go on. So it doesn't make any sense, but this is the world we're living in today. So why there's so much fuss about it is because people are making up things as they go, and we live in such a free society, we live in such a free world, that there isn't actual freedom. So it is an illusion sold to them by transcendent beings, by otherworldly beings, evil beings, okay, that you are as gods. So make up your own laws, live on your own terms, your body, your pride, your body, your choice. You feel some type of way other than how you were created. You identify with the other creatures of the sky and of the sea and of the land. Carry on, huzzah, good luck to you. But anyway, that is why I think there's so much fuss about it. Now after all this, you're like, what can we do about it? To an extent, there isn't so much we can do, and to an extent, there is so much we can do. I'll explain. To the point where we can't do much is the fact that these things are bound to happen. There are people that have been given up to reprobacy. There are people that are so, their hearts are so hard. Their hearts are so hard. If Superman were to get a hold of their hearts and try to, I don't know if you've seen the movies where they made me believe so much that if so much pressure is applied to coal, which might be true. I don't know. I've not read any scientific thesis or document about it, that if there's so much pressure on charcoal, it turns to diamond. If Superman puts that kind of pressure on their hearts, his hand would hurt him. Probably be like kryptonite to Superman. Their heart is so hard, it is unwilling to change. So that is where we can't really do so much. That's to the extent to which we can't really do so much about it. And to the extent which we can do something about it is making bold claims about your faith, and not just bold, daring, exciting, energetic, extravagant claims about your faith, but correct, theological, doctrinal, orthodoxical, traditional Christian proclamations of your Christian proclamations. Because it is one thing to say, oh, I'm a Christian, and to wear the label like you'd wear a Gucci shirt, and there's another thing to actually walk the walk and talk the talk. There's another thing to actually walk the talk. So it's not just wearing it like an insignia. It's not just wearing it like you'd wear glasses, prescription glasses. It's actually having the audacity to stare at opposition in the face and say, you know what, I don't care what you guys are gonna say about me. I don't give a damn, man. I don't care. That's your business. You just kind of stare them down, the alphabet community and all those other things. But at the same time, you're not consumed by nobility or being noble, that you don't want to shine your light to the world. You enter into dark spaces and you illuminate. You enter into crippling darkness and you become blinding lights. That was good. That was real good. So that's it. That's basically what it is. That's basically what we can do. And what does this all boil down to? Evangelism. Public mass evangelism through social media, one-on-one, which is something that I'm struggling with because I kind of have social anxiety. It's terrible, it's terrifying, which is one of the reasons why I can't look at the camera, because the camera is like a million eyes judging me. It's terrifying. And then I guess, and then giving yourself up to be discipled so that you can disciple people. That is about what you can do about it. And then I wrote down the final point, the last straw. What is the last straw? The last straw is that in the end of time, at the end of days, everybody will give account. That's it. So everybody that feigns ignorance, anybody that tries to, oh, I didn't hear, I don't know, we all leave it up to God to judge. Am I right? Amen. So that's been that about that. That's that on that show. I hope you're good. I hope you took this with a grain of salt or a plate of rice, depending on what your diet is. I hope that in some way you've kind of caught on to the illusion of the illusion of the world. I guess that's how I'll put it. You've kind of caught up with what the devil is putting down, but you're not picking it up. You're not picking up what he's putting down, but you've kind of found his tactical genius, in quotes, and you're ready to take a stand against it. And be sold out to whatever it is you're doing, whatever career, whatever place or point that God has placed you in. Be sold out to it and make sure that people who come in contact with you, you leave an indelible mark. There is an evidence, there is an irrevocable evidence that he came in contact with a greater light. All right. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Flip the switch and illuminate. We're on a journey of becoming, one day at a time. I love you all. Stay blessed. Arrivederci. God bless you.